The bullet grazed her cheek, close enough to feel its heat. Seraphina Cole didn't scream. She stared into the cold eyes of Seo Joon-woo, Seoul's most ruthless mafia boss, as he pulled the trigger again, dropping her attacker mid-stride. Blood spattered his pristine suit. He stepped closer, gun still raised, and something cracked inside his chest when her breath hitched. Not fear in her eyes, defiance. "You're bleeding," he said, thumb ghosting her wound. She was nothing to him, a stranger, but watching her blood drip felt like watching his world end. Welcome to my channel, fam. Please like, share, and subscribe. 48 hours earlier, Seraphina had been invisible. She worked as a translator at the Korean Trade Commission, fluent in 5 languages, brilliant with words but terrible with people. At 27, she was curvy in ways magazines said weren't fashionable, with dark auburn hair, green eyes, and a face that turned heads despite her attempts to hide behind glasses and conservative clothes. She'd never wanted attention. Attention was dangerous when you'd spent your childhood running from debt collectors and abusive men your mother brought home. But fate had other plans. The conference was routine, international delegates, security everywhere, boring speeches. Seraphina translated from her booth, invisible behind soundproof glass. Then Seo Joon-woo walked in. He commanded the room instantly. 6 feet of lean muscle in a black suit that probably cost more than her yearly salary. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that missed nothing, hair styled back revealing a face that belonged on magazine covers. But there was something dangerous about him, the way people stepped back when he moved, the fear in their eyes. Seraphina had seen men like him before. Men who took what they wanted without asking. She looked away quickly, focusing on her work. Later that evening, everything changed. The conference ended. Seraphina gathered her things, ready to disappear into the Seoul subway like always. But as she walked through the parking garage, she heard voices. Angry, threatening, Korean, Russian, negotiations gone wrong. She should have kept walking, should have minded her business. But she heard a name, Park Min-soo, a junior diplomat she'd worked with. "Good man, family man, please," Park begged in Korean. "I didn't know the shipment was compromised. I can fix this." A gunshot echoed. Seraphina's scream died in her throat. She pressed against a concrete pillar, heart hammering, phone clutched uselessly in her shaking hand. "Clean this up," a cold voice said in Russian. "The boss wants no loose ends." They were going to find her. She knew too much now, saw too much. Footsteps approached her hiding spot. She ran. The next moment blurred into chaos. Seraphina burst from behind the pillar, sprinting for the exit. Shouts erupted behind her. More footsteps, heavy, fast. She'd almost reached the stairwell when a hand grabbed her arm, spinning her around. A man built like a tank, tattoos crawling up his neck, grinned. "Where do you think you're going, pretty thing?" She fought, kicked, screamed. He backhanded her, and pain exploded across her face. She hit the ground hard, tasting blood. "Stupid girl," he muttered in Russian, reaching for his gun. "Should have stayed home." This was it. This was how she died. Then the world exploded. Gunfire, shouting. The man above her jerked, eyes widening, before collapsing. More shots, bodies hitting concrete. Seraphina curled into a ball, arms over her head, certain she was about to die. Then silence. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. She looked up. Seo Joon-woo stood over her, gun still smoking, expensive suit splattered with blood. His dark eyes locked on hers, and for a moment, neither moved. "You're bleeding," he said in perfect English, voice like gravel and silk. He crouched, and she flinched, but his touch was surprisingly gentle as he tilted her face, examining the cut on her cheek where the bullet had grazed her. "You shouldn't be here," he continued, thumb barely brushing her wound. "This is no place for civilians." "I work here," she managed, voice shaking. "I'm a translator. I heard, I saw. I know what you saw." His eyes darkened. "Which means you're in danger now." "From you?" Something flickered in his expression. "From everyone, including me." But he helped her to her feet, steadying her when she swayed. "Can you walk?" She nodded, though her legs felt like water. "Good. Stay close." He took her to a car, black, expensive, bulletproof. Inside, the leather seats smelled like money in danger. Seraphina's whole body shook, adrenaline crashing. "Where are you taking me?" she asked. "Somewhere safe." He made a call, speaking rapid Korean she could barely follow. Something about cleanup crews and witness protection. When he ended the call, he turned to her. "What's your name?" "Seraphina. Seraphina Cole." "American?" "Half. My mother was Korean." His eyes studied her with unsettling intensity. "You understand Russian?" It wasn't a question. "Yes. And Korean, Mandarin, Japanese, French." "Useful skills." He leaned back, somehow making the confined space feel smaller. "You heard the entire conversation." "I didn't mean to. I was just leaving." "I know." His voice softened fractionally. "But that doesn't change the situation. The Bratva Russian Mafia, they'll come for you now. They can't afford witnesses." Terror gripped her. "What do I do?" He studied her for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice held an edge of something she couldn't identify. You stay with me, under my protection. It's the only way you survive this. I don't even know who you are. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. Seo Joon-woo. Some call me the king of Seoul's underworld. Others just call me Death. His eyes locked on hers. But you, Seraphina Cole, can call me Joon-woo. If you are enjoying the story, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. He took her to a penthouse that overlooked the Han River. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, everything black, white, and steel. Cold, impersonal. Like him. You'll stay here, Joon-woo said, showing her to a guest room. My men will guard the building. Don't leave without permission. Permission? Anger sparked through her fear. I'm not a prisoner. No, you're an asset under protection. There's a difference. He moved closer, and she caught his scent, sandalwood and gunpowder. The Bratvo will hunt you. If they find you alone, you die. If you're with me, they hesitate. Understand? She wanted to argue, to run, but she'd seen what those men did to Park Min-soo. How long? She whispered. Until I eliminate the threat. His hand came up, fingers ghosting along her injured cheek. The touch was so gentle it made her breath catch. Get some rest. We'll talk tomorrow. He left before she could respond. Alone in the massive bedroom, Seraphina finally let herself break down. The following morning, she woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then memories crashed back, the shooting, the blood, Joon-woo's cold eyes warming when they met hers. She found clothes laid out on a chair. Her size. Expensive. A note in elegant handwriting, asterisk were these. Breakfast at 8. J asterisk. The casual command should have annoyed her. Instead, her heart did something stupid and fluttery. In the kitchen, Joon-woo sat at the island reading a tablet. He'd changed into dark slacks and a white shirt, sleeves rolled up revealing forearms corded with muscle. A shoulder holster held a gun casually, like wearing weapons was normal. Maybe for him it was. Coffee, he asked without looking up. Please, he poured, adding cream and 2 sugars without asking. When she stared, he shrugged. I'm observant. Or you have surveillance in the bedroom. His lips quirked. That would be inappropriate. I just noticed yesterday you had coffee at the conference. Cream and sugar. The fact that he'd noticed such a small detail made something warm unfurl in her chest. Dangerous. This man was dangerous. The next few days established a strange routine. Seraphina stayed in the penthouse while Joon-woo conducted business, legitimate and otherwise. He came home late, often covered in tension or blood, but never harmed her, never even raised his voice. Instead, he asked about her day, brought her books, made sure she ate. Why are you being nice to me? She asked one evening. He looked up from his laptop. Is that so surprising? You're a criminal, a killer. Nice doesn't seem like your style. I'm many things, but I'm not a monster. Not to you. His eyes held hers. You're under my protection, Seraphina. That means something. What does it mean? He stood, crossing to where she sat curled on the couch. It means I'll kill anyone who tries to hurt you. It means you're safe here, with me. His hand came up, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. It means I'm going to keep you. Her breath caught. Keep me? Yes. His thumb brushed her lower lip, and heat flooded through her. Whether you like it or not, you're mine now. Before she could respond, his phone buzzed. He stepped back, answering in clipped Korean. When he hung up, his expression was shuttered. I have to go. Don't leave. Don't open the door for anyone. Joon-woo. But he was already gone, leaving her heart racing and mind spinning. A week passed. Then too, the tension between them grew unbearable. Every glance felt charged. Every accidental touch sent electricity through her body. She caught him watching her with an intensity that made her feel stripped bare. And God help her, she liked it. She was falling for her captor. Her protector. The man who'd killed to save her. It was insane. Dangerous. Wrong, but it felt inevitable. One evening, Joon-woo came home to find her cooking. She'd convinced his housekeeper to teach her Korean recipes, desperate for something to do besides obsess over him. You cook? He sounded surprised. I'm not completely useless. She plated the food bulgogi, japchae, kimchi. It's probably terrible. He tasted it, eyes closing. It's perfect. Something in his voice made her look up. He was staring at her like she'd performed a miracle. My mother used to make this, he said softly, before she died. Seraphina's heart clenched. I'm sorry. I didn't know. How could you? But he reached out, pulling her close. Thank you for this. She melted against him, and for a moment, they just stood there, her head on his chest, his heart beating under her ear. Perfect. Until his phone rang again. The following evening, everything changed. Joon-woo had a business dinner, legitimate associates, he'd assured her. Safe. But Seraphina was going stir-crazy. 2 weeks of isolation, and she needed air, freedom, normalcy. So she made a decision she'd regret. She slipped out while the guards changed shifts, just for an hour, just to walk the streets of Seoul and remember what freedom felt like. The city was beautiful at night, neon lights, bustling crowds, the smell of street food. She bought tteokbokki from a vendor, savoring the spicy rice cakes. For 1 hour, she felt normal again. Then a hand grabbed her arm. She spun, heart leaping, but it wasn't Joon-woo. A man. Expensive suit. Handsome in a cold way. He spoke in Russian. "You're very hard to find, Miss Cole." Terror froze her. "Don't make a scene," he continued, grip tightening. "Come quietly and maybe we let you live a little longer." She tried to scream. His hand covered her mouth. Then the world tilted as he dragged her into an alley. She fought, kicked, bit. He backhanded her hard enough to see stars. Stupid. A gunshot cut him off. The man collapsed, blood blooming on his chest. Behind him stood Joon-woo, gun raised, eyes absolutely murderous. But the murder wasn't for her. "Touch her again," Joon-woo said in perfect Russian, "and I'll make sure death is the kindest thing that happens to you." More men appeared, Joon-woo's. They hauled away the body efficiently. Then Joon-woo was on her, hands gripping her shoulders. "Are you hurt?" "Did he?" "I'm fine." She was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left. I just needed. You could have died." His voice cracked. "Do you understand? They would have taken you, tortured you, killed you slowly. And I would have." He stopped, jaw working. "You would have what?" "Lost my mind." He pulled her against him, arms crushing her close. I won't lose you, Seraphina. Not to them. Not to anyone." She felt his heart racing, matching hers. "Why do you care so much?" she whispered. He pulled back, cupping her face. "Because from the moment I saw you bleeding in that garage, something changed. Something broke open inside me. I don't know what this is, but I know I'll burn this entire city to ash before I let anyone hurt you." Then he kissed her. If you are enjoying the story, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. The kiss was desperate. Claiming, "Hungry." Seraphina gasped against his mouth, and he swallowed the sound, deepening the kiss. His hands tangled in her hair, tilting her head back as he devoured her. She'd never been kissed like this, like she was oxygen and he was drowning. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, his eyes were black with desire. "We should go home," he said, voice wrecked. "Yes." The car ride was torture. He sat too close, hand on her thigh, burning through her jeans. Every nerve ending felt alive. Aware. At the penthouse, he barely got the door closed before pulling her back into his arms. "Tell me to stop," he murmured against her neck. "Never." He lifted her, carrying her to his bedroom, not the guest room, but his. The space was all dark colors and masculine simplicity. He set her down gently, and for a moment, they just stared at each other. "Last chance," he said. "After this, you're mine. Completely. I'm already yours." Something fierce and possessive flashed in his eyes. Then he kissed her again, and the world fell away. Seraphina woke before dawn in Joon-woo's bed. His arm was draped over her waist, face relaxed in sleep. He looked younger like this, less dangerous, almost vulnerable. Her heart ached with something too big to name. But as light crept through the windows, reality returned with crushing weight. What had she done? She'd slept with a criminal, a killer, a man who'd never promised her anything beyond protection. What if this was just physical for him? What if morning brought regret? Panic clawed at her throat. She couldn't face his rejection, couldn't watch him pull away now that he'd gotten what he wanted. Carefully, she slipped from his arms, found her clothes, dressed quietly. She made it to the door before his voice stopped her. "Where are you going?" She turned. He sat up, sheet pooling at his waist, hair mussed, eyes already sharp despite the early hour. I need to go back to my room." "Why?" He stood, gloriously unself-conscious, and crossed to her. "Seraphina, talk to me. Last night it was a mistake. We got caught up in the adrenaline and..." "A mistake." His voice went dangerously quiet. "Is that what you think? Isn't it? We don't," she couldn't finish. Couldn't say you don't love me when she just realized she loved him. His jaw tightened. "You're afraid." "Of course I'm afraid. You're Seo Joon-woo, Seoul's most dangerous man. And I'm nobody. Last night doesn't change that. You're wrong." He cupped her face, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Last night changed everything. You're not nobody. You're mine, and I don't let go of what's mine. That's not love. That's possession." "Then call it possession. Call it obsession. Call it whatever you want." His thumb brushed her cheekbone. "But don't you dare call it nothing. Don't diminish what we have because you're scared." Tears burned her eyes. "How can we have anything? Your world is violence and blood. I'm not built for that." "Then I'll change my world." The vow in his voice made her breath catch. "For you, I'll change everything." Before she could respond, his phone rang. The spell broke. He answered, expression darkening as he listened. "When?" A pause. "I'll handle it." He hung up, already moving toward his closet. We have a problem. The Bratva just took out 3 of my warehouses. They're escalating. What does that mean? He pulled on clothes with efficient speed. It means war. And it means you're not safe here anymore. I'm moving you to a secure location. No. She grabbed his arm. I'm not running. Not again. Seraphina, you said I'm yours. That we're in this together. So let me be in it. All of it. He stared at her for a long moment. Then, slowly, he nodded. Together. But you follow my orders. No more running off alone. Deal. He kissed her, hard and fast. Get dressed. We leave in 10 minutes. If you are enjoying the story, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. They spent the next 3 days planning. Joon-woo's headquarters was a fortress underground levels beneath a legitimate office building, filled with screens, weapons, and deadly serious men. Seraphina learned the scope of his empire. The businesses, both legal and illegal. The allies and enemies. The constant chess game of power. And she learned why people feared him. He was brilliant. Ruthless. When he gave orders, people obeyed without question. When he made threats, they weren't empty. But with her, he was different. Gentle. Patient. He included her in meetings, valuing her insights. Asked her opinion. Protected her fiercely while respecting her intelligence. She fell harder every day. One afternoon, a lieutenant approached during a briefing. Young, handsome, too confident. Boss, he said in Korean, the translator is very beautiful. If you're done with her, perhaps. He didn't finish. Joon-woo's fist connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling. She is mine, Joon-woo said softly, terrifyingly. Mine to protect. Mine to cherish. Mine to kill for. If you ever look at her with anything less than absolute respect again, I'll remove your eyes. Understand? The man nodded frantically. Seraphina should have been horrified. Instead, heat pooled in her stomach. Later, in his office, she confronted him. That was excessive. That was necessary. He pulled her onto his lap. Everyone needs to understand you're untouchable. Not just under my protection, mine. Completely. I'm not property. No. You're far more valuable than property. His hand cupped her face. You're my heart. And I'll destroy anyone who threatens you. She kissed him, unable to resist. Possessive. Completely. His hands tightened on her waist. Get used to it. That evening, everything fell apart. They were in Joon-woo's private residence, a house outside Seoul, heavily guarded, when the attack came. Explosions, gunfire, chaos. Joon-woo shoved Seraphina into a panic room. Stay here. Don't open this door for anyone but me. Joon-woo, I love you. The words were raw, desperate. I should have said it sooner. But I love you, so stay alive. For me. Then he was gone, the door sealing behind him. Seraphina huddled in the dark, hearing muffled sounds of battle. Gunshots, shouting, screams. Minutes felt like hours. Then silence. The door opened. Joon-woo stood there, covered in blood, but alive. It's over. They're gone. She threw herself at him, checking for injuries. Are you hurt? Not my blood. He held her tight. We need to leave. Now. This location is compromised. They made it to the car. But as they pulled away, Seraphina looked back and saw flames consuming the house. Everything was burning. The next few days blurred together. They moved between safe houses. Joon-woo coordinated counterattacks. The war with the Bratva intensified. And Seraphina realized something terrifying. She couldn't live without him. One night, exhausted and scared, she found him on a balcony overlooking Seoul. Tired, he asked without turning. Terrified, she moved beside him. This can't go on forever. It will end soon, one way or another. He looked at her, and the exhaustion in his eyes broke her heart. I'm going to end this, permanently, but I need you to trust me. I do trust you. Then know that everything I do from here, every decision, every action, it's all to keep you safe. To give us a future. He pulled her close. Will you wait for me? What are you planning? Something dangerous. Something that might get me killed. But if it works, we'll be free. Really free. Tears burned her eyes. Don't talk like that. I have to. Because if something happens to me, I need you to know, his voice cracked. You saved me, Seraphina, from a life of emptiness. You made me want more than power and survival. You made me want love, family, future. Whatever happens, you gave me that. She kissed him, tasting salt from her tears. Then come back to me, because I want that future too. With you. Only you. I will. He pressed his forehead to hers. I promise. But promises in their world meant nothing against bullets. The following morning, Joon-woo left before dawn. He kissed Seraphina goodbye, long, desperate, like he was memorizing her. I love you, he whispered. Remember that. Then he was gone. Hours passed. Then days. No word. No contact. Just silence and fear. Seraphina paced the safe house, guarded by Joon-woo's most trusted men. They assured her everything was fine, that the boss had things under control. But she knew better. She felt it in her bones, something was wrong. On the third day, news broke. A massive explosion at the ruthless headquarters. Bodies recovered, including one identified as Seo Joon-woo. Seraphina's world shattered. Seraphina couldn't breathe. The television replayed the footage, smoking ruins, body bags, officials confirming Seo Joon-woo among the dead. Her legs gave out. She collapsed on the floor, chest heaving, unable to cry. Shock had frozen everything inside her. He was gone. The man she loved. The man who'd saved her, protected her, changed her entire world. Gone. One of the guards, Min-ho, the kind one, approached carefully. Mrs. Seo, don't call me that, she whispered. I'm nothing. Nobody. That's not true. The boss loved you. Everyone knew it. Then why is he dead? The words tore from her throat. Why did he leave me? Min-ho knelt beside her. Because he loved you enough to risk everything, to end the war permanently. He hesitated. He wanted you to have a future, even if he couldn't be in it. The pain was unbearable. She curled into herself, finally letting the tears come. The funeral was 2 days later. A small, private affair, Joon-woo's inner circle only. Seraphina stood at the graveside in black, feeling hollow, empty. She placed a white rose on the casket, whispering words only he would have understood. You promised to come back. But promises died with the people who made them. That night, back at the safe house, she made a decision. She couldn't stay in Seoul, couldn't live in the city that held memories of him everywhere. She'd go back to America, disappear, try to forget. It was impossible, but she had to try. She packed her few belongings, waited until the guards changed shift, and slipped out into the night. She made it 3 blocks before a car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down. A man she didn't recognize leaned out. Miss Cole, get in, please. I'm not going anywhere with you. The boss would disagree. Her heart stopped. What did you say? The man smiled slightly. He's waiting for you. Has been since the funeral ended. Said you'd try to run. He knows you well. That's impossible. He's dead. I saw the news. You saw what we wanted you to see. Now get in before someone actually dangerous finds you. Her mind reeled, but something in the man's eyes made her trust him. She got in the car. They drove for 30 minutes, leaving the city behind. Finally, they pulled up to a small house on the coast. Lights glowed in the windows. It looked warm, safe, alive. He's inside, the driver said. Go. Seraphina approached on trembling legs, raised her hand to knock. The door opened before she could, and there stood Seo Joon-woo, alive, whole, real. For a moment, she just stared, certain she was hallucinating. Then rage erupted. You bastard. She shoved him, hard. You let me think you were dead. You let me grieve. You. He caught her wrists, pulling her inside, kicking the door shut. I'm sorry. I had to. If anyone suspected I survived. I don't care. Tears streamed down her face. 3 days. 3 days I thought you were gone. Do you have any idea what that did to me? Yes. His voice cracked. Because I felt the same way every second we were apart. But I had to make it convincing. Had to make the Bratva believe they'd won so I could eliminate them completely. And did you? Eliminate them? Every last one. His eyes were hard. The threat is gone, Seraphina. Permanently. We're free. She wanted to stay angry, but the relief was too overwhelming. She broke down, and he caught her, holding her as she sobbed against his chest. I've got you, he murmured. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Ever. Later, when the tears finally stopped, they sat on the couch. Seraphina couldn't stop touching him, checking that he was real. Solid. Alive. How? She asked. How did you fake your death? Body double. Explosives rigged precisely. Dental records swapped. He tucked her hair behind her ear. I planned it for weeks. Knew it was the only way to end this permanently. The Bratva needed to believe they'd won so they'd let their guard down. When they did, I struck. You could have told me. No. Your grief had to be real for them to believe it. I'm sorry. I hated every second of putting you through that. His thumb brushed her cheek. But it's over now. Really over. No more running. No more hiding. Just us. Just us, she repeated. Then reality hit. But everyone thinks you're dead. How do we? We don't. Seo Joon-woo is dead. But there's a man named Junho living in Busan. A businessman. Quiet. Boring. Legal. He smiled slightly. We can have a real life, Seraphina. Away from the violence. If you want it. If I want it? She cupped his face. I want you. That's all that matters. But you'd give up everything? Your empire? Your power? It was never about power. It was about survival. And now I have something worth surviving for. He pulled her into his lap. You. A future. Maybe a family someday. That's worth more than any empire. Fresh tears spilled spilled down her cheeks. I love you so much. I love you too. He kissed her softly. Marry me. She pulled back, shocked. What? Marry me. For real this time. Not for power or protection. Because I love you and I want to spend every remaining day of my life making you happy. He produced a ring from his pocket. Simple, elegant, perfect. Marry me, Seraphina Cole. Let me be yours completely. Yes. She was crying and laughing. Yes. 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, then kissed her with everything he had. If you are enjoying the story, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. They were married a week later. A small ceremony on the beach at sunset. Just them and the few people they trusted completely. Minho, the driver whose name was Jin-soo, and a local officiant. Seraphina wore a simple white dress. Joon-woo wore dark slacks and a white shirt, no tie. He looked relaxed, happy, free. When they exchanged vows, his voice was steady but his eyes were wet. I promise to love you with everything I am, to protect you, to choose you every single day. You saved me, Seraphina, from darkness, from emptiness, from a life without meaning. I will spend the rest of my days making sure you never regret taking a chance on a man like me. Her own vows came through tears. I promise to stand beside you, to trust you, to build a life with you that's full of love and laughter and peace. You showed me that even in darkness, there's light, that even broken people can heal. I love you, Joon-woo. Today, tomorrow, forever. When they kissed, it felt like coming home. Their honeymoon was 2 weeks in a cottage by the sea. No phones, no computers, no outside world. Just them, the ocean, and endless time. They made love. They talked for hours. They cooked together, walked the beach, watched sunsets. Joon-woo was different here, lighter, softer. He smiled more, laughed, let himself just be. One evening, wrapped in blankets on the beach, Seraphina asked the question that had been nagging her. Do you miss it? The power? The control? He was quiet for a moment. Sometimes I miss the certainty, knowing exactly who I was, what I was built for. He looked at her, but then I remember what I have now. You, peace, a future, and I realize I don't miss my old life at all. I pity the man I was before you. He wasn't so bad. He saved me. No, you saved me. He pulled her closer. Everything good in my life started the moment you looked at me in that parking garage, bleeding and terrified but still defiant. I knew then. Something shifted. I just didn't understand what until later. Love at first sight? Something like that. Though I didn't have the vocabulary for it then. I just knew I had to keep you, protect you, make you mine. His hand moved to her stomach. Think about what comes next. What do you want to come next? Children, a home, growing old together. He smiled. Normal things, beautiful things, everything I never let myself want before. I want that too. She turned in his arms, kissing him. All of it. With you. That night, they started building their future. They settled in Busan under new identities. Junho and Sarah Kim. He ran a small import business. She did freelance translation. They lived in a modest apartment near the beach. To the outside world, they were normal, boring, invisible. But inside their home, they built something extraordinary. Joon-woo still had moments where the old darkness crept in, where he woke from nightmares about losing her, where his paranoia spiked and he checked locks obsessively. But Seraphina was patient. She held him through the bad moments, reminded him they were safe, that the past was behind them, and slowly, he healed. 3 months after the wedding, Seraphina woke feeling strange, nauseous, exhausted, emotional over nothing. She bought a pregnancy test, hands shaking as she waited for the result. 2 pink lines. She stared at it, emotions crashing through her. Joy, terror, excitement, fear. She was going to be a mother. Joon-woo was going to be a father. When he came home that evening, she couldn't find the words, so she just handed him the test. He stared at it for a long moment. Then his eyes met hers, and she saw everything: wonder, fear, overwhelming love. We're having a baby? His voice cracked. Yes. He dropped to his knees, wrapping his arms around her waist, pressing his face to her still flat stomach. His shoulders shook. Joon-woo, are you okay? I'm perfect. He looked up, face wet with tears. We're having a baby. A family. I never let myself hope. She ran her fingers through his hair. Are you happy? Terrified. And happier than I've ever been. He stood, pulling her into his arms. Thank you, for this, for choosing me, for giving me everything I never knew I needed. Right back at you. He kissed her, soft and reverent. I love you. Both of you. We love you too. The pregnancy was smooth but emotional. Joon-woo became impossibly protective. He barely let her out of his sight. Researched everything obsessively. Prepared for every possible scenario. You're going to drive yourself crazy, Seraphina said one evening, watching him read another parenting book. Probably. But our child deserves the best. He looked at her, vulnerability in his eyes. What if I'm terrible at this? What if I'm too damaged to be a good father? She moved to him, taking his face in her hands. You're going to be an amazing father. I know it. Because you love fiercely, protect completely, and you've already proven you'll do anything for the people you love. I just want to give them everything I never had. Safety, love, a father who's present. You will. We both will. She kissed him. Together, remember? Together. Their daughter was born on a spring morning. 10 fingers, 10 toes, a shock of dark hair and her father's eyes. Perfect. Joon-woo held her with shaking hands, tears streaming down his face. She's beautiful, just like her mother. She has your eyes. Poor thing. But his smile was brilliant. Hi, little one. I'm your appa. I've been waiting to meet you. The baby gripped his finger, and he let out a sob. She's so small, so perfect. Seraphina watched her husband fall completely in love with their daughter, and her heart felt too full for her body. This was everything. They named her Seo, beautiful hope, because that's what she represented, hope for a future they'd built from ashes. Joon-woo was a natural father, patient, gentle, devoted. He changed diapers without complaint, woke for every feeding, talked to Seo constantly about everything. You're going to be strong like Yuriyama, he told her one night, rocking her to sleep. And kind, and brave. You can be anything you want, and your appa will support you always. Seraphina watched from the doorway, falling in love with him all over again. When Seo was 3 months old, they received a visitor. Minho arrived unannounced, looking uncomfortable in civilian clothes. I hope it's okay, he said. I had to see for myself that you're really okay. We're more than okay, Seraphina said, inviting him in. Come meet our daughter. Minho stared at the baby with wonder. She's beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you for everything, for protecting Seraphina when I couldn't, for keeping our secret. Joon-woo shook his hand. How are things in Seoul? Quiet. Boring. Your death ended the war. The territories were redistributed. Everyone's too busy rebuilding to start new conflicts. Minho smiled. You did it. You got your happy ending. We did. Joon-woo looked at Seraphina and Seo. We really did. After Minho left, Seraphina asked, do you ever regret it? Leaving that life behind? Not for a second. He pulled her close, careful of the baby between them. This is everything I never knew I wanted. Peace, family, love. Why would I regret that? I just want you to be happy. I am happier than I have any right to be. He kissed her forehead. You gave me that. You and our daughter. You're my whole world. If you are enjoying the story, kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. 1 year after Seo's birth, they moved to a house, small but perfect, with a garden and a view of the ocean. Room for their growing family. Because Seraphina was pregnant again. 2 under 2, she joked. We're insane. Completely. But Joon-woo's smile was pure joy. I love it. I love our life. I love you. I love you too. Even when you're being overprotective and ridiculous. I'm not overprotective. You installed 14 security cameras for our tiny house. That's just being prepared. She laughed, kissing him. You're impossible, but you love me anyway. Unfortunately, yes. Their son was born on a winter morning. Dark hair like his sister. Joon-woo's stubborn chin. Already fighting, already strong. They named him Taeyang, Sunday, because he completed their family, made everything bright. Watching Joon-woo hold both his children, Seo toddling around while he cradled Taeyang, Seraphina felt her heart might burst. This man who'd once been Seoul's most feared crime boss was now the most devoted father she'd ever seen. He read bedtime stories in silly voices, built blanket forts, kissed scraped knees, made up songs. He was perfect, and he was hers. On their 3rd anniversary, Joon-woo surprised her. He'd arranged childcare and took her to the beach where they'd married. I wanted to do something special, he said, to celebrate how far we've come. They walked the sand hand in hand, watching the sunset paint the sky golden pink. Do you remember the first time I brought you to the ocean? He asked. On our first honeymoon? I remember thinking you looked different here. Softer, more yourself. I was. For the first time in years, I wasn't pretending, wasn't playing a role. I was just me. Because of you. He stopped, turning to face her. I need you to know something. What? That night in the parking garage, when I saw you bleeding, terrified but defiant, something changed in me. I didn't understand it then. Told myself it was just protective instinct. But it was more. His voice roughened. It was my soul recognizing yours. Knowing you were the other half of me. The part I'd been missing. Tears blurred her vision. Joon-woo, let me finish, please. He cupped her face. I married you intending to protect you, keep you safe until the danger passed, then let you go back to your life. But I couldn't. Because somewhere along the way, you became my life, my reason for everything, and I realized I didn't marry you for power. I married you because my soul knew what my mind hadn't figured out yet, that you were mine, that I was yours, that we were always meant to find each other. I love you, she whispered, so much. You gave me everything I never knew I needed. Safety, love, family, purpose. You made me believe in happy endings. This isn't an ending. He kissed her softly. This is just the beginning. We have a whole lifetime ahead of us, growing old together, watching our children grow, building memories. I can't wait for every single moment. Me neither. They stood there as the sun sank below the horizon, wrapped in each other, the ocean eternal beside them. Two broken people who'd found each other in darkness, who'd built something beautiful from ashes and blood, who'd proven that even the most damaged hearts can heal, that even the darkest souls can find redemption, that love, real, fierce, all-consuming love, can conquer anything. 5 years later, their life was everything they dreamed. Seo was 6, already brilliant and kind and fierce. Taeyeon was 4, all energy and mischief. And their youngest, Sorae, named for the conch shells she loved collecting, was 2. Joon-woo ran a successful business. Legitimate, profitable, legal. He'd used his strategic mind to build an empire of a different kind, one built on innovation instead of fear. Seraphina worked from home, translating and writing. She'd started a blog about starting over, finding love in unexpected places. It had become surprisingly popular. They lived quietly, peacefully, beautifully. One evening, after putting the children to bed, they sat on their porch watching the stars. Do you ever think about the past? Seraphina asked. Who you were before? Sometimes, but that man feels like a stranger now. He pulled her close. I'm grateful to him though, for surviving long enough to meet you, for making the hard choices that led me here. No regrets? Only one. He looked at her. That I wasted so many years being someone I wasn't. But then I remember, if I hadn't walked that dark path, I never would have been in that parking garage. Never would have met you. So maybe it was all necessary. Every painful step leading me to you. That's beautiful. And slightly terrifying. He laughed. Love is terrifying. But it's also worth every risk. Speaking of risks, she took his hand, placed it on her stomach. We're pregnant again. His eyes widened. What? How? When? 3 weeks ago. I wanted to be sure before telling you. She bit her lip. I know we said 3 was enough. But, he cut her off with a kiss. 3 was enough. 4 is perfect. 10 would be perfect, as long as they're ours. Relief flooded through her. You're not upset? I'm thrilled. Terrified, but thrilled. He pressed his forehead to hers. Thank you, for this life, for our family, for choosing me every single day. Always. She kissed him softly. Today, tomorrow, forever. Forever, he agreed. Their 4th child, another daughter, Haewon, was born on a summer evening. She had her mother's auburn hair and her father's dark eyes. A perfect blend of both. Watching Joon-woo hold his 4 children, surrounded by love and laughter and chaos, Seraphina marveled at how far they'd come. From that dark parking garage to this bright, beautiful life. From violence and fear to peace and joy. From 2 broken souls to a complete, perfect family. Thank you, she whispered to the universe, to fate, to whatever force had brought them together. Joon-woo looked up, catching her eye. The love in his gaze nearly stopped her heart. I love you, he mouthed. I love you too, she mouthed back. And in that moment, surrounded by their children, in the home they'd built together, in the life they'd fought for, everything was perfect. Not perfect without struggles. Not perfect without challenges. But perfect because it was theirs. Perfect because they'd chosen each other. Perfect because love, real, fierce, impossible love, had conquered everything. 10 years after that first meeting, Seraphina stood in their garden. Their children played nearby. Seo, now 16 and brilliant, Taeyeon 14 and athletic, Sorae 12 and creative, Haewon 10 and sweet. Joon-woo came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. What are you thinking about? He asked. Everything. How far we've come. How impossible this all seemed once. Nothing's impossible with you. He turned her to face him. Do you remember what I said that first night? That you were mine and I was keeping you? She smiled. How could I forget? It was terribly possessive. It was honest. From the moment I saw you, something in me knew. You were mine, and I was yours. Completely. Forever. He cupped her face. Thank you for letting me keep you. For choosing this life. For giving me everything. You gave me just as much. More, even. She kissed him softly. I love you, Joon-woo. More than I ever thought possible. More than words can say. I love you too. He pulled her close. My wife. My heart. My everything. Their children called out, needing something, and they separated with a laugh. But as they walked toward their family, toward the beautiful chaos they'd created together, Seraphina felt nothing but gratitude for the danger that had brought them together, for the love that had saved them both, for the life they'd built from ashes, for every single moment that had led them here, to forever. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. If you loved Minho and Seraphina's story of finding love in the darkest places, please like this video, share it with friends who love dark romance, subscribe to the channel for more addictive love stories, and comment below telling me what you loved most about their journey. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more epic romance stories. What did you think of their transformation from enemies to soulmates? Let me know. Until next time, fam, keep believing that even the most broken hearts can find healing, and that true love is always worth fighting for.